Good, good. Hey guys, welcome to the Real Estate Coaching Podcast. Today we have a very, very special guest, Mr. Anthony Lolli. Anthony, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, man.
Definitely, definitely. And this is a very special interview because from I've gotten started in real estate, I've been hearing about you and your company and some of the amazing things that you've done with Rapid Realty. I know at one point you guys were pretty much, had it dominated the New York market at one point.
That's right. Yeah. What I did was I took there's riches and niches, right? So I took the niche of rentals, and I became the largest rental company in New York. And then I
Mhm.
decided to franchise it, and we expanded nationally to over 120 locations.
Yes.
When I was a small mom and pop operation in New York, we had like 1,000 agents, and we were the biggest thing under the sun. And we really made a name for ourselves. In fact, besides a lot of press and media attention that we got, we had a story that went viral. Today's internet age, Instagram, Facebook, people hope to do crazy things to get their name out there and their companies viral. But we did it organically. We actually had over 100 people tattoo the company logo on themselves to show their loyalty to the brand. So I had real estate agents from 20 years old to 60 years old getting the company logo tattooed on all parts of their body, their neck, their back of their leg, their arm, their shoulders. So it was an amazing experience. As the founder of the company, we won all sorts of entrepreneurial awards, franchise awards. And then, when you grow your company and you make a lot of money, you decide to become philanthropic. So we got involved with over 30 different charitable organizations. We
Absolutely.
really expanded and grew the company into something that was giant size. So it was an amazing experience. In fact, I actually sold the company, which is an amazing experience as well. Not a lot of people get to build something and sell it, but I followed in the footsteps of P. Diddy, who sold Bad Boy, and Russell Simmons, who sold Def Jam, and Elon Musk, who sold PayPal. And so what I did was actually wrote a book, and it tells my whole story. I brought the book with me. It's called The Heart of the Deal.
The heart of the
And
deal.
it's became an international bestseller. I flew all over the world, from South Africa to Canada, and people all over the world love a good story because I come from humble beginnings. I grew up and I didn't have a lot of money, and
Mhm.
so I actually built my real estate empire myself. So in addition to growing a national real estate chain, I actually started a real estate school that became the second largest real estate school in New York. We licensed over
Wow.
40,000 people to get into the real estate industry. It was doing so well. In fact, towards the end of it, before I sold it, I was actually giving away real estate courses so people can come work for me and try out real estate. So,
Absolutely.
and then of course, beyond that, I started a real estate portfolio. I started buying buildings after building after building, and started my own construction company. And
Mhm.
so I did all of this in my early 20s, 30s, and now I'm 42 years old. So it's an interesting journey.
Absolutely. And one thing I tell even, my agents here, and I tell people this all the time, a lot of, the entrepreneurs, I admire the entrepreneurs out there who didn't read it in a book, and that's what that's what I've seen from you, where you didn't read this stuff and got got everything and said, hey, I'm just going to be teaching this now. You actually lived it. You didn't read it in a book or saw it on TV, then
That's
implemented it.
right.
It's
That's right.
something that you actually live. So which is
One thing I
even
didn't want to be was the broke broker. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in real estate, look, I wanted to be the P. Diddy of real estate. P. Diddy had wonderful artists. He managed wonderful artists, but he also had his own albums. And he also is involved in Ciroc and all different business ventures. So, you can't be a one-trick pony. You can't be a real estate agent and not own real estate. You can't go to people's closings and celebrate their happiness of buying a property and you not experience the same happiness. So, it's important that you educate yourself. And what I did was I jam-packed in a 4-hour read the right amount of tools and equipment you need to actually succeed, whether you're a beginner or interim, you'll succeed. But more importantly, I live it. I live the life. I have a beautiful house. It's where 50 Cent has shot music videos there. Fat Joe, a lot of other rappers and movies have been filmed in my house. It's called the Lolli Mansion. I drive a Rolls
nice.
Royce that I own. So, and one of my latest accomplishments after I sold my company was I lost 120 pounds in 10 months and completely transformed my body. So now, like, I'm getting into bodybuilding and mixed martial arts and fitness. I'm doing Spartan races
A
and
lot
Ironman
happening there, man.
competitions. So it's like anything I put my mind to, I can achieve. And so, part of it is you just can't talk about it. You got to be about it.
Got to be about it. And I also want to add some questions for you here. Before you got started in real estate, right? Your friend's dad had a license. Is that really what
Yeah,
inspired you
what
to say?
happened was my friend's father, who was like a stay-at-home dad for 20 years, but my friend's
Hmm.
18 years old. So there's no reason why he should have been out of the workforce that long. He
Hmm.
decided to get his real estate license, and when he did it, he started making money. And I said, man, if this guy could do it, man, I could do it. I was going to community college at the time. I was taking up business administration. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was thinking about doing some sort of bed and breakfast business, but I wasn't
Hmm.
sure. And then when I saw that he was doing real estate, I said, man, let me try this out. I always liked real estate,
Hmm.
you know. And so when I got my real estate license, it wasn't easy. I talk about it in my book in the beginning, where I had a lot of challenges. I faced a lot of prejudices from being young. Now real estate agent game is a young person sport, but back then it used to be an old people sport. So
Definitely, definitely.
now it's easier, but back then it was so difficult, and there wasn't a lot of information. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have all these self-help gurus out there giving you all this kind of information or books. So I had to kind of learn on my own through the school of hard knocks, which I did, which built my character, made me a better person for it.
Definitely, definitely. And also we want to talk about seeing the opportunity and taking advantage of the opportunity during the lifetime of the opportunity. One of the things
Sure.
that I've seen that you did was when you started the real estate classes, you looked at that teacher and said, hey, you're talking about making millions and you're here teaching this class. What was
That's
that
right. I was
feeling for you
always
at
the
that
kind of
time?
guy that, sometimes teachers teach what others do. And I wanted to know, like, if I'm going to learn from you, just like when you read a book, I want to read who the heck is writing this book and what makes you the authority, right? So, I
Absolutely.
like to question things. So I questioned him. I said, excuse me, because he was saying real estate's great. You can do this, you can do that, you can make millions of dollars. So I raised my hand. I said, sir, if it's so great, then like, what happened to you? Like, why aren't you doing it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then he said, I actually owned this school. So I did the math. And then that was when I set my goals. I said, I'm going to own a real estate school. I'm going to own a brokerage. I'm going to hire friends and family to come work for me. And I'm going to make it a chain, national chain, and then eventually sell it. That was my goal back then. And I achieved it.
Absolutely. And in your first brokerage that you worked with, when you first got started there, they were pretty much underwater. You saw a vision, and then you actually, I guess, tried to build with the company. Then it
Well,
eventually
yeah,
went
first
another
I
direction,
worked at
correct?
one firm that was pretty decent, but they kept stealing my listings and doing shady things, which happens even today in real estate. So I left that firm to go work at this other firm, and I kind of helped build it. But what I didn't realize was that the guy wasn't really a good payer. And so when we got to a certain point of bringing in a lot of revenue, he stopped paying the real estate agent and then eventually stopped paying me.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that was when
yeah.
I decided that, I wanted to put my income in my own hands. I didn't want anybody else to control my destiny from my hard work, because as it is, real estate's a game of, okay, great. You do 100% of the work on 100% of your dime and give me 50% of the profits. That's how it works as the broker and the real estate agent. Even though commissions
Absolutely.
are a little different nowadays, but back then that was the case. So, I decided to put myself in the casino owner's position. The house always wins.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know, that you start off as an agent, then transition to the broker side, the book basically, helps agents, helps individuals to understand that side of the business as well. You know, what would you say, I guess, to someone who's listening, who's planning from transitioning from the sales side to now the business side of the business?
Well, I talk about it a lot in the book, but honestly, the current environment is, there's major companies out there that are growing, that are raising, hundreds of millions of dollars of capital, pouring it into technology and recruiting tools. So nowadays, you can actually join a team, build your own team within a large organization. If you're going to work for a smaller brokerage, you can dominate, but like anything else, you got to put the work into it. Real estate it's like a pizza, right? You have the dough, the sauce, and the cheese. Otherwise, it's not a pizza. So real estate is, the advertising, the showing, and the closing. So no matter what, fancy firm opens up, or no matter what technology is out there, you still have to market, advertise, show, and close. And so sometimes things can get confusing and diluted with so many different things that allure you, like commissions and earning, residual income from somebody else's effort, and all these different things that are out there. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to have the skills to sell. Either you sell
Absolutely.
yourself on getting a listing, or you sell the client on buying the listing. But you have to be able to sell. And if you don't possess those skills, you're not going anywhere.
Absolutely. And another important thing here is investments, because a lot of agents out there have big dreams. I tell people this all the time. You speak to a new agent, they have dreams of becoming a multi-millionaire walking through the door, and you've really taken it step by step. But now I want to get to the investment side. Your first investment was the Rapid Realty building in, what was that, in
That's
Park
right.
Slope?
My first investment was a $200,000 mixed-use building. And the reality is that the thing about these real estate agents that I hear, I come to, how do I buy with no money down? How do I, they have this dream, this illusion that they're going to stumble across a listing, and then somebody's going to partner with them, put up all the money, and they're going to own it because they found it. That's not how it works. You get a finder's fee. Like, if somebody found a great deal, I'll pay them a commission. Thank you for finding me the deal. I'm not going to partner with you just because you found the deal. I don't need it,
Yeah.
Nobody wants an inexperienced, non-working partner unless you found me something that's so much equity that I couldn't turn away a partnership deal. But the reality is that that doesn't really happen. So
Yeah.
what I did was I saved my commission. I saved my money. I made money. I saved it, and I put a down payment on my own investment property through my own efforts, through my own commissions, through my own closings. And I bought my first property, and then it turned into 2, 3, and then swelled into over 40 buildings now.
Wow. Throughout Brooklyn,
Brooklyn,
other areas.
Queens, Staten Island, the Bronx. I own stuff overseas as well. So, we have a nice portfolio of real estate, and, real estate rental income is great. I don't like to flip, although I flip, but, rental income it's like when you're sitting at the beach and you watch the waves hitting you. That's the rent checks that keep coming.
The residual coming in.
The residual keep coming. So, just the other day I was in an apartment that just became vacant, and my team sanded the floors, and I happened to be in the neighborhood, and I stopped in, and we're renting that apartment now for $3,800. And I remember when I first bought the building, I was like 23 years old. I was renting it for $1,200, and at that time, that was a lot of money. So just by owning it and holding it for so long,
you see it appreciate over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. So before we wrap up, Anthony, the harder the deal. If you had a message for someone listening right now, because we're worldwide right now, Spain, Italy, Germany. I checked the analytics the other day. For someone listening in right now, the harder the deal. Why is it important for them to pick up that book right now?
I think the important is because it's a living, breathing real estate mogul that wrote it, that you can connect with. I mean, I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. And you have a winner and a goal reacher that is still alive and well. And all the methods, I've taught thousands of people. I've made people millions of dollars in real estate. So I put a lot of knowledge into this book. And the reality is that if you read it, you'll be 10 steps ahead of your competition, because most people don't buy books, and most people buy books and don't read them or don't finish them. So if you actually read the book, you'll get a better understanding of me, and you can keep in touch with me through my social media portals, because I'm not that unreachable. You and I have connected, and you'd be surprised how many people are too shy or have limiting beliefs that don't even reach out. And so when somebody does have the guts to reach out and ask for something like you did, I respect that highly, because that separates them, that they're cut from a different cloth. And so that's the first sign of a winner, is somebody that has the guts to believe in themselves and doesn't think that low of themselves to reach out. The second step is somebody investing into their brain. People invest in clothes, they invest into cars, they invest into all sorts of different things. but why not invest into your mind?
Absolutely, absolutely. Definitely, Anthony. So, guys, make sure you pick up the new book, The Harder the Deal. It's definitely amazing. And thank you guys for listening to the Real Estate Coaching podcast. Definitely was an amazing interview, Anthony. Just hold it right there, Anthony.
Sure.
Thank you, guys.